So, talking about brain basics, it is a common perception to think that neuroscience is too sophisticated or complex for everyday workers to understand. Can you explain how neuroscience can be applied to the business world in a practical and easy way, and why it's becoming increasingly important for business leaders to be successful?
Vannessa, this is a great question because once we understand how the brain functions, and for example, we now know that stress significantly impacts how we make decisions. It impacts our capacity to focus and concentrate, to pay attention. Taking that into account, leaders can now make sure that the environment that their teams, that their employees work in limits stress, because they want their teams to be very creative. They want them to make good decisions. They want them to be able to focus and concentrate well. And ensuring that the environment supports that means that business is supported as well. The other challenge, of course, is that change is exponential. And any leaders who don't believe that really are behind the times, because we know we've never experienced change at this rapid rate before. And knowing how the brain responds to change and how the brain feels when it gets overwhelmed is also very helpful for leaders, because then they can make sure that they communicate with their teams in a way that doesn't lead them to feel overwhelmed. They can communicate in a way that optimizes their engagement, not the opposite. So understanding how the brain works is really fundamental if you want to work with people, help them to thrive and help your organization to thrive.
And that's been my experience, because it was a game changer for me personally, being a business leader for over 20 odd years. And then when I started to learn about the neuroscience of leadership, I was like, oh, it just rocked my world. I was like, I have to understand this, because I didn't know how I was showing up. I had really good intentions, but I actually didn't know how I was showing up in different obstacles when things didn't go to plan, or how to lead people really effectively through challenging times like double-digit growth, that constant stress that you're talking about, never feeling like you can get your head above that waterline or just keep it above. So that overwhelm, fatigue, stress, and then constantly wanting to be a good top performer, both individually and as a leader and through a team. There was a lot I didn't know from a leadership perspective that neuroscience has been able to give me on how to actually get the best out of self, but also from a self-leadership perspective, how to set my own brain up for success, and then how to help others do that as well, that may be unique in their own style, because no two brains are the same.